Welcome to Knightline Live. It's 7 o'clock on a Monday night finally again. Hey, and I'm here. I'm Jerry Middleton, and along with me as usual is host and co-host Rick Fletcher.
Jerry, how you doing?
Oh, I'll tell you what, a busy week last week. It was killer.
Oh, it was a busy week. Now we'll have a little rest this week before we get back to it next week.
Yes.
So we'll get our rest this week. But we had that little tennis intro there. Why did we do that? Well, the boys' tennis team won the sectional tournament, so congratulations to them. And we'll actually have a chance to talk with the coach here later in this show, so we're going to look forward to that.
Yeah, Coach Haynes comes in now. You got to watch this because it's an interesting how that he got that position.
Yeah.
It's a great story, so stick around and watch out. It'll probably be around 7:30, 7:35.
Yeah, right around there. Before that, we'll have Evan Weaver will be a guest. He's a new sports reporter for the Palladium Item, so he's already been to a couple of our football games, so we'll see him roaming around looking for stories. So we'll look forward to talking to Evan. Ball State grad, just like Zach was.
Yeah.
And so we're all familiar with Zach. He's moved on to, I'm assuming, bigger and better. I don't know, but congratulations to him. So we've got Evan now.
And we have a great relationship with Ball State as we send some of our fine people to be their news anchors.
Well, we did. Anna Drake, we're going to hang on to that one forever.
We're going to ride that horse until it falls over.
So, what else is going on? There's a lot we're going to talk about here. Number one, football's winding down. The Knights played. We had a video live streamed that game that you saw over the weekend. They had a tough game.
It was a wild one.
Yeah.
And we'll break that one down here a little bit.
We'll have a lot of things. We'll have to break down the press box when we get there because a lot of things were going on in the press box. It was, it was very interesting to say the least.
And the scoreboard was correct.
Yeah, the scoreboard was correct. Now, the PA guy might have made a mistake, but we're going to allow that because he is human, okay? We're all human. We make mistakes. So you and I, of course, we've never made a mistake on this show or our broadcast. We've been perfect, so we kind of expect that of ourselves, but we understand that some people are human, and Chad Dill, as much as we love him, he's human, and he made a mistake, which he admitted to us.
Yes.
Okay, so but anyways, it was an interesting weekend there. Last week was a big week for the girls volleyball team.
Oh yes.
Big wins in the conference. They've got a leg up on that conference championship. I don't know the last time they won that, but it's been quite a while.
It's been a little while.
Yeah, at least 10 years.
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
probably about 10.
So. But they have a leg up on that where if they can win out, they've got a couple of conference matches this week. If they can win out, that'll be theirs by themselves. So, congratulations to them. Wayne County Tourney was this Saturday, so we'll kind of talk about that and how our Lady Knights did. We broadcast that, had Dan Harney on the mic with me because you were busy this weekend. You had something going on, so that was a lot of fun and very interesting.
I watched a little bit of it and heard Dan talk on it. It was very insightful of a different view of things and so forth. So it was good.
Dan's a storyteller.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and his stories go back a long way, and so it's interesting how he interjects those stories into what we're doing on the broadcast. So I was really appreciating that. So a lot of things to talk about tonight. Tonight's going to be focused. A lot of focus will be on tennis, as we should.
Yeah, it should be.
We haven't done much with tennis this year, so I'm very interested to see what Matt Haynes has to say, and we'll look forward to that.
And I'll give the local NFL. Who cares? There we go. The Colts.
You were at the game, weren't you?
Not the Bears, but the
Bengals.
Bengals.
Oh, I know.
So I mean, there's no reason. We'll just move on. Oh, let's just go on further. Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, they're not in the playoffs.
It's just too bad. But the Cubs didn't make it, so yeah.
Well, if you're going that far, you're going to Chicago. How about the Bears? To be a Bears fan nowadays.
Brutal.
Oh, it's brutal. They got beat. They were up 28-7, had the game in hand, and they found a way to lose.
Oh my goodness.
And of course, everybody knows I'm a New England Patriot fan. They only got beat 38-3. So,
Oh, how times have changed.
times have changed, and now I know how the rest of the league's fans feel because I'm feeling it. You know, I'm wondering, Jerry, if we should tank. You know, should we tank the season and get the number one? Do we need a new quarterback? I mean, oh my goodness, it was a. By halftime, I was thinking, you know, I think I got some dishes that need to be put away. It was awful. So you know what? When your sports teams are doing good, life is good.
That's right.
And when they're doing bad, it puts you in a bad mood.
And you know what makes it good is when you can pick up your newspaper or you can go online and read a story about your favorite team and they won.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we're going to have just that person.
All right.
So the PAL item.
All right. So we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back after these messages on the Knights Broadcasting Network. At Kate's Family Eye Care, we value a family-friendly atmosphere, offering high-quality eye exams. Our expert staff utilizes the latest techniques in eye care. We have a large selection of affordable glasses that are unique to our area. We are proud supporters of the Northeastern Knights and wish all the teams the best of luck.
Go Knights!
13,000 feet has a way of testing a man's soul. After all, you were never meant to take on such an endeavor. That long drop is what separates human from superhuman. That fear is the only enemy, the only thing keeping you from feeling that power in your bones. And here we are, right here, right now. Let's fly.
You're good at motivation, we're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
KOA exit 151A, registration in the general store. It's a family-owned campground with pull-through parking for RVs or travel trailers with full hookups. Rent a cabin, relax at one of the fire pits, or picnic by the pond, a playground for the kids, or get in around the golf before dinner. Take a water-soaking hayride, lay out by the pool, and then take a dip.
Do you have a big event coming up soon? Dejo Photos has you covered. Check us out on Facebook. We are professional photographers who strive to capture all of your special moments, such as family portraits, senior photos, live action sports, graduations, and so much more. If you don't think photos are important, wait until they are all you have left. Contact us via email at info@dejophotos.com or call us at 765-277-0047. Dejo Photos, capturing memories, one photo at a time.
Welcome back to Knightline Live. I'm Jerry Middleton. With me as usual is Rick Fletcher, and we have a special guest in-house, Evan Weaver from the PAL item here in Richmond. And like we were talking a little bit ago, Evan, we appreciate you stopping in tonight. Evan's a Garrett High School up north graduate and also a Ball State graduate. Chirp, chirp for all you Ball Staters out there. And so anyway, Rick, let's have at it.
Evan, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate the invitation.
Hey, we appreciate you coming here. So we like to give all the local reporters, some time here for you to get to know us, and then we want to get to know you because hopefully, if you're at our games, that means something's good is going on, all right? And that means maybe we're doing well. So give us a little bit about your background. Where did you go to college?
So as Jerry said, I went to Ball State University, got my bachelor's in journalism and telecommunications. Graduated in 2021.
Okay, so that's what you want to do. I mean, you decided that when you went to school, you wanted to write for a newspaper or some kind. Journalism has changed over the years, by the way.
Right.
A lot of it's like this kind of thing right here. But so that's what you're trained as a journalist, and that's what your degree is in.
Right.
All right. So you, how long you been here? You just got here. You haven't been here that long.
I've been here for about a month.
Okay. All right.
I started right at the end of August.
Okay, so just as we were starting to roll, you got here. All right, so I got to ask, you're brand new. I'm assuming you don't know everybody yet. So how do you go about getting to know the local schools? Because you figured out Wayne County is where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get to know all the coaches, the athletic directors? What's the process to familiarize yourself?
Well, so I've already covered a couple events. I went to a couple Northeastern football games.
Because he likes us best. I'm just saying.
Well, we
No,
are
go on,
we are friendly.
We are
Jerry.
friendly.
We try to be friendly. We give you free food if you want.
Right.
Yeah. Concessions.
We'll do what we need to.
Covered a few Richmond events because
Okay.
the paper's based in Richmond.
Absolutely.
Went to Lincoln, covered a volleyball game. I think that was one of the first things I did.
Okay.
Met the AD there.
Okay.
Haven't met all the Wayne County ADs yet, or the coaches, but I'm hoping to as time goes on.
All right. So you're working your way around the county then.
Yeah.
And so you've met some of our coaches, some ADs or coaches or whomever. I know I met you when you were talking to Wes Oler. Well, it wasn't the best of times for us. We just got beat by
Right.
Centerville, but that's our first exposure to you. So why journalism? I've always wondered why a young man or woman wants to be a journalist. So what's the attraction there?
So basically, when I was little, I wanted to play baseball. I wanted to be a professional baseball
Oh, we all did,
player.
didn't
Yeah,
we?
everybody did.
Well, I'm still waiting for my contract
Right.
offer.
But then as I hit high school and I got cut from the high school team, I realized I wasn't going to be able to get to that next level. So I started thinking about what I wanted to do in college, and I tried to get on the student publications
Right.
class at my high school. Took 3 years to get into
Wow,
it.
they're that popular then,
Mhm.
huh? Oh, wow, okay.
And then when I was in that class, we got to work on the yearbook, and it was then when my local newspaper had an advertisement looking for a football stringer for Garrett football home
Okay.
games.
Okay.
And so that's really where I first started writing the game stories, and I
Okay.
just really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, isn't it?
Hmm.
All right, so Ball State's got a great journalism program. Describe how Ball State prepared you to come out into the quote unquote real world. Now we're not Indianapolis or Chicago around here. We're small, right? But how does Ball State prepare you to come out and do the job here?
Well, all the professors at Ball State were really good. They helped prepare me to basically cover about any story, whether that be news, sports, opinion,
Right.
etc. And then with the Ball State Daily News, the college paper there, it was all volunteer stuff. So I wanted the experience for when I graduated, and all the editors there were so helpful in helping me develop my writing skills.
And you have a relationship with the guy you replaced with Zach Pyatt. We've had Zach on before. We know him well. When we do our live streams, we would actually interview him sometimes, as the local reporter guy.
Right, and Zach and I are actually from the same area around the Fort Wayne area.
And that's something. Is there a pipeline from Fort Wayne down to Wayne County? I mean,
Maybe.
You just take 27 down, I guess, and eventually you're going to get here. So at the PAL items, you don't do just sports, right? You do, what else you do?
No, so I was hired to cover news. It's been a year since the PAL item has had a news reporter, with Mike Emery retiring and going to Western Wayne. So I was hired for that, and then the week before I was due to start, Zach left for Illinois.
Aha, so there's an opening.
Right. and there's still an opening, but until then, I'm basically covering it all.
Oh, my goodness. Jerry?
One-man machine.
Yeah, one-man machine. So, what do you prefer? I don't know. Maybe you should. Maybe your editors are watching. I don't know.
Maybe.
What's your big interest though, as far as reporting?
I would say probably sports, because that's what I have the most experience in,
Yeah.
and I've grown up playing sports my whole life. My previous job, I covered DeKalb County, Noble County,
Yeah.
LaGrange, those schools for the
Right.
past 2 years.
Okay. All right.
That's a lot of. There's a lot of schools up here: East Noble, West Noble, Garrett, and all those schools, and a lot of good sporting schools. I mean,
Right.
and all of them have different. Some will have good volleyball, some have good basketball. I mean, it's a wide variety. But there's a lot of good sports up there in that Fort Wayne North area. Yeah, it's a good place.
So what? Okay. So what do you do? When in your job at the Palladium Item, will you also be covering the local? We have Earlham and IU East. Is that part of your criteria, or?
So part of my training dealt with people tend to care more about the high school local sports than college sports, just because like the college athletic teams, they don't have a lot of local talent.
Right.
And I did research as soon as I started going through all of IU East
Right.
and Earlham's teams, and I don't think I saw a single Wayne County kid on.
Yeah, there are a couple Northeastern kids over at IU East. I do know that, and there have been some Earlham
Yeah.
students over the years. There has. So as you're writing a story, what are you looking for as far as, say you want to? I mean, if you're going to write a story on one kid, all right, that's a big deal to that kid. So what are you looking for in a story? What are you trying to put out there?
So basically, I've struggled a lot with finding feature story ideas in the past. I try hunting for them. I try doing research as much as I can, see if anything's unique about them or going on in their life, and hopefully, like, they would be willing to talk to me about that.
Yeah.
And
Is there and the stories just don't come emailed to you or in the mail? You got to go dig them up. Is that right?
pretty much, unless we get a tip from maybe someone in the community or someone within that school that knows of the situation.
All right. So I would say to our viewers, okay, whoever's watching this, here's Evan. If you've got something or an idea, you'd love to hear from him. I'm guessing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stories, and I kind of I've learned this from Dan Harney because he's been around for a long time. There's a lot of stories out there waiting to be written. Just nobody knows about them.
Yep.
Right.
And that's true. I mean, it's true right here at our high school here, and we're not the only ones. There's a lot of high schools in the area. So,
So in writing stories and so forth, and we'll talk team stories, what is your favorite sport to write about?
That's so tough.
I know, I put you on the spot. This is not easy stuff. This is hard-hitting news here.
Well,
so I hope you don't feel like I set you up.
oh no, not at all. I haven't really had a chance to cover it yet while I was here, but throughout high school I ran cross country and track.
Okay.
So I do like covering going out to track and field meets or cross country races.
Yeah. All right, so let me give you a hint. If you don't know, October 14th is the cross-country sectional at Connersville High School,
Right.
okay? So you probably already know that. It's a great event, okay? I mean, it's really, cross-country's a lot of fun. I mean, I've been to these events, as a reporter. We're fake reporters, by the way. You're the real reporter. We're just pretending to be, okay? But with cross-country, you get a lot of camaraderie. Yeah. Kids know each other. They compete all the time. And when the race is over, they go up to each other and say, good race, or whatever's going on.
And
yeah.
traditionally, Northeastern has had pretty good cross-country teams.
Oh yeah, I was just at the state finals last year to cover the East Noble girls team that won.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you'll find, at least we can only speak for us, okay? Our school is they're looking for their sectional champions, so they're looking on the boys' side. So they're hoping to repeat. We'll see how it goes because everybody else wants to knock them off, right? That's how that goes. Well, how do you like Richmond area? Have you ever been down here before?
Never, not before I started.
So you're brand spanking new. So you had to come down here and you had to get an apartment and do all the things to set up shop. And then how does this work? Do you meet with someone at the PAL item and say they want you to cover all these schools and here's who they are? Did they give you information or they say go get them Tiger?
Basically the latter.
Go get them Tiger, right? So you have to find out who's who, where are the athletic directors, and all that kind of stuff. Now, we do have some people from other schools that do watch this program. We do know that.
Yeah.
So if you're an athletic director in Wayne County, can I give them your phone number?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not going to do it right here, okay? But
Right.
if they contact us, we can pass it on. I would suggest that you feed Evan tons of information and let him sort through it.
Right.
Having more is better than having none. Is that correct?
Exactly.
And so keep them busy because honestly, there's a lot of content out there.
Oh, there's a bunch.
And we were talking a little bit off air about that's what your paper is looking for is content. I'll tell you what, you might not have enough time to write all the content, but you look at every school in the county, there's stories to be written, honestly, because you got schools like 1A schools to 4A schools, Richmond being the 4A school, a lot of 2A schools and the 1A school. So it's small county, all right, but there's a lot of great stories that I'm sure that they would appreciate that. And here we are giving the reporters some advice.
Well, and the other thing I'm sure that Evans had to figure out around here is what those orange detour signs mean.
Oh, yeah.
Good grief, we've got more road closures and
a lot of those.
Oh, I was used to that a lot up in Fort Wayne, so that's not a problem at all.
Well, you can't take 40 from Richmond to Lincoln, all right? You got to go around until the bridge gets
and you
back.
can't go from Fountain City to
Seton,
Liberty.
Yeah, you can't. You got to. There's a detour there. So, welcome to Construction City.
Let's go over the bridge.
Yeah, that's
there's
all
no
it
bridge
is.
there. Oh.
Well, Evan, you know what? We appreciate you coming on. We're going to see you again. All right. Again, if you're an athletic director or a coach, you have an interest in getting your stuff out there, and you really do. You got to promote your kids, and Evan's a willing vessel.
Yeah.
Okay. He wants to promote you or get into those stories. So feed him that information, and he'll be calling you. And when he calls, give him what he needs. That's what my suggestion would be. So we appreciate you coming on. I don't know if this is going to make you a star, but
Well, it made us stars overnight.
in our own minds.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're going to take a break. I think is our second guest here.
They are. Yeah, they are here.
All right, so when we come back, we're going to be talking tennis, and we'll be talking about the boys sectional championship team. You're watching Knightline, and we're live.
Coming together every day to make a difference for you, for me, and everyone in between. Because at Dot Foods, when we celebrate each other's differences and work together to make the community a better place, we become great together. At Dot Foods, what matters to you matters to us, where communities matter. Dot Foods.
Dreaming of having more space? With a mortgage from First Financial, you're golden. We keep things simple with friendly, personalized service from application to closing. We'll help you find the right mortgage loan to fit your unique needs. Plus, you can qualify for relationship pricing with an eligible checking account. And since we live in the communities we serve, you can count on our local knowledge to make sure the pieces fall into place for an on-time closing. So stop dreaming and start moving with First Financial Bank.
Harmon Harmon sheds are custom built to your specifications and needs. But wait, there's more! Harmon sheds build privacy fences, decks for your pool, beautifully designed decks for all around your home, and detached pavilions. Let Joe and the crew do all the work, so all you need to do is relax. And welcome back to Knightline Live. I'm Jerry Middleton, and with us as usual is Rick Fletcher. We've got some special guests in here, recently crowned, I should say, tennis sectional champions, Rick.
I tell you what, we love winners around here.
Oh, we love winners.
We had to go through their agents just to get them on here. The effort we had to get just to because everybody wanted a piece of them.
Unbelievable, but fortunately, we were able to slide them in through the back door. The paparazzi's been out here. We all know about the paparazzi.
Paparazzi's awful. You know?
Yeah, that's bad. And so I think we have Mr. Haynes, or Matt Haynes. He's the tennis coach. And Mr. Kiesling stopped over today and informed me that Mr. Haynes got hired about 2 weeks in because our tennis coach took a job someplace else. So Kiesling had to start off as a tennis coach for 2 weeks. And he said it was that foundation that drove the championship. Any comment on that?
True. I mean, it's just totally true. He put us over the top. He laid the solid foundation. He put the kids where they were all the time.
That's a true story.
That's a true story.
So actually, Matt wasn't there at the beginning.
He called it intramural tennis.
Boy, we might have to go into next week. You guys might have, because this could be a two-part show here. And by the way, we have Kenyon Jontine. Okay, Are you the only senior?
Yeah.
Okay, so finally we got. I've been looking to get you guys on, and stuff happens. All right, but what better way to have you guys come on, sectional champs? So, anyways, welcome. We appreciate you guys coming on. First of all, how's it feel, Kenyon? I want to ask you, man.
I mean, it feels good.
Yeah. I bet it feels good. You got your shirts on.
Yeah, we got matching shirts.
Yeah, all right. See, when you win a sectional, you get a shirt. That's the highlight right there. So let me ask. Let me go to Matt first. Okay. So interesting story.
Yeah.
All right. What made you decide? Okay, I want to be the tennis coach.
Well, I'm sitting there in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I get some fudge.
This is the true
This is the
story right here.
And Kiesling calls and said, "Hey, we got a really good group of kids, and they've got all the potential in the world to do well this year.
Yeah.
I need somebody." And I played tennis. I coached tennis here back in the early 2000s with Janelle Wetzel.
Okay.
Coached the boys in 2007. I played college at Erlen for a year. I've coached just about every sport there is, won some sectionals, so I had some experience, and I said, hey, I can't let this go to waste, so I don't want to let the boys down.
And you literally came in 2 weeks into the season?
Yes, sir.
And so I'm not even going to ask how Kiesling was as a coach.
I mean, he had him ready to go. Conditioned.
I don't know. Has he ever been a coach, Jerry?
Not tennis. Right? He's a head football coach.
Yeah, I knew he was been a coach.
Yeah,
but
he walked out and says, I don't know anything about tennis. He says, I put the balls out there and let them have at it.
All right, Kenyon. So let me ask you as a player. Okay, you're getting ready for your senior season. Number one, I want to ask you, what was your excitement level coming into the season? Did you see this team coming together like this? Or?
Well, I knew we had a good team, but I mean, we're still pretty young, me being the only senior and whatnot, so I didn't know we'd go this far.
Okay.
I just thought we'd be good.
Okay.
Not this good.
You'd be competitive. All right, so you're in the beginning of the season. The athletic director is your coach. What's going through your mind at that point? You guys are coaching yourself. I mean, I don't mean that as a criticism, but, now you're on your own, and you're doing your own thing here, preparing for your own tournaments and matches and that type of thing.
I wasn't worried about any of the kids' talent or playing abilities because it was there. We just needed the guidance to be in the right spots and to make our lineup and everything.
Yeah, okay.
Because, the players can't decide all that. That wouldn't end out well.
All right.
So, and then there was a lot of work he had to do, too, for a handful of us.
Yeah.
Actually, all of us.
You mean coaching-wise?
Yeah,
to get you guys up to snuff and that type of thing. All right, so Coach Matt, I don't know if you call him Matt, Coach Haynes, or...
he's really respectful.
Mr. Haynes.
Mr. Haynes.
I can't get him to call me coach. He calls me sir, Mr. Haynes.
All right, so Mr. Haynes comes on, and now he's coaching you. Here he is. What was that transition like? You go from Mr. Kiesling to Mr. Haynes.
Oh, that was good.
Okay.
That was good for the tennis team. I mean, nothing against Mr. Kiesling, but I mean, we needed a guy who knew about tennis.
Yeah. You're just being honest.
Yeah.
You know what? And I bet if Jerry Kiesling here, he'd tell you the same thing.
If he's watching, and he said he was going to watch, he's laughing right now, I'm telling you.
Well, hey, I'm glad he came out and got us set up and everything and got the ball rolling. I mean, that helped a lot.
Yeah. Well, it was a lot of work on his part, obviously. And so, all right. So those first couple of weeks, was it just business as usual? You get in, you're playing some matches and that type of thing. Did you feel business as usual, or?
No, we kind of just hit around.
Okay, all right.
We were just like messing around.
Okay,
much, yeah.
All right. So when Coach or Mr. Haynes came in, then you guys really got down to business.
Yeah, it was a good little couple warm-up weeks,
Yeah, all right. Yeah. So did it take, Matt, I want to ask you, when you got there, you knew the situation, all right? They're already in their season. Did it take time to ramp up your program? Because I'm guessing yours was different than Jerry Kiesling's. So.
Well, I think I hit them right out of the gate with expectations, because I saw their talent, and within a day or two, within the 5 minutes, I knew what our strengths and what our weaknesses were, and just finding where we could put our best group together to compete. And I said, hey, I told the teachers this, people who the coaches asked me, they have the talent. We got to put the pieces together, and we just got to work it to a situation we can win the sectional. And that was the goal.
Okay.
So
no holds barred at that one, right? You put it right out there, and you felt these guys were ready for it.
Yeah.
You did have some experience.
Mm-hmm.
Connor Burke came. But talk about your players. You got Canyon here. So let's go to your number one singles. That is who?
Yeah, Connor Burke.
Connor Burke.
Yeah.
He's a junior this year.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So talk about Connor and the contributions he is to your team. And
so I think he played 3 singles, if I'm right, last year.
Yeah, I think you're correct.
And so he transitioned to 1, and I saw the natural ability to just be a wall at number 1 and just get the ball back. And in high school tennis, that frustrates people when you're just a wall and you just get the ball back. But he also has pace that he's worked on and placement. So that, and from the get-go, I said, hey, I see what you've got, but now I want you hitting harder, especially early on the season, so when we get to the end of the season, you'll have confidence to hit those shots to win matches. So.
Right. All right, your number 2 is, you tell me who it is.
Matthew Truitt.
Yeah, okay.
I think he was
another junior, right?
Yeah. I believe he's on JV last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
oh, wow.
Maybe not.
Or maybe. I can't remember.
It was, last year was also, it was a big bunch. But
yeah, okay.
There was a lot of switching in and out last year.
Okay, all right. So, but he was established himself as your number 2.
Yeah. And he was just really consistent in the challenge matches that we did. That's what you need at a 2 spot. You need somebody who's consistent and just is able to get the ball back and make the other player make the mistake. And he was able to do that.
And so I'm assuming Canyon was your established number 3
Yeah.
guy. Okay,
Yeah.
so don't make him blush more than he already is here, Mr. Canyon. But talk about Canyon and he's your only senior, so by default he's your leader.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So talk about his leadership abilities.
So whether he admits it or not, he's our anchor.
Yeah.
Right. He is the guy that at number 3 he has the ability to blow open a match, right? He we had a great start and a rocky middle, but then some of the best matches I've ever seen a number 3 play, he plays in sectional, and he may have lost those, but that was some of the greatest playing out of him I've seen all year, and I was so impressed. But
sometimes I know tennis is individual, but yet it's a team. And what I said about that is the one thing I noticed was when he took off, everybody else went, "Oh,
Right.
here we go."
Right.
He's doing it. We can do it. And it seemed like that just changed the whole dynamics of that sectional.
Yeah.
Right
And-
there.
And you're right. I mean, he may have lost 6-3, 6-4. To the kid from Lincoln was almost undefeated all year.
Yeah.
Right.
And he puts up a fight like that. And let me mention this. He's a really good friend.
Yeah.
He's a really good. So it's hard to play good friends. But like,
And that's typical in tennis.
Yes.
You guys see
but,
that.
you're right. The psychology behind it is so important because like when they come out and see him playing hard,
Yes.
he's ripping the ball and playing him really well. That inspires the other guys to say, "Hey, we
Absolutely.
can do this. We can do this." So,
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. See what's the game within the game,
Mm-hmm.
and even though 6'3", you're battling, right?
Right.
Okay, you're battling, giving it your all. All right, so
No,
there's
no,
gonna
but we're going to get into the doubles here now.
yeah.
right?
All right, so let's
Okay.
go.
But here's, I stood behind the windscreen at the sectional,
Yeah.
and listened to just the guys talk. I'm up, take deep, I'm back now, I'm back. And that amount of communication really surprised me a bunch. I mean, it really did, because I watched a little bit of doubles tennis on TV, and you don't hear that. But
No.
here, there was a lot of talking going on. I was very impressed with that.
So I played here, won a sectional for Northeastern here back in '96. I was a doubles guy, played number 1 doubles. That's my thing.
Okay.
You gotta play for each other.
Yeah.
You can't leave each other out to dry. You can't set each other up. You have to communicate, and that's what I stressed with them. If you don't communicate, you're not going to be a team. Move together, talk together, protect each other, and that's what it's all about.
All right, so tell us, your number 1 doubles team is
Caden White and Landon Scaretti.
okay. All right, from last year.
Yeah.
I think they were number 1 doubles last year, if I remember. They were 2 doubles.
They were 2 doubles.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Scaretti is competitive as all get up. We see him in basketball, obviously.
Yeah.
He's not the biggest guy, but boy, he lays it out there. I'm assuming tennis is exactly the same way. And he doesn't. Landon, you do not lack for confidence.
Right.
Okay? And in a good way, in a good way. So, and your number 2 doubles teams.
Hayden Chalfant and John Wallace.
All right, so talk about those guys right there.
Goodness, I don't know they expected to play together, but they ended up 16-3 on. Well, we're not done yet.
Yeah.
But we're 16-3 on the season.
Okay.
Wow.
So
That's
I mean,
pretty good.
Yeah.
Those guys came out of the woodwork, man. They impressed me with how they play this year.
And what are you? Were they working hard in practice, or what were they doing to make that improvement? Canyon, let me ask
And
you.
I think they just had to step up, man.
Yeah.
Like they saw that there was no really other replacement for 2 doubles, so they knew it was their time. So
Okay.
they did a really good job. They
All right.
improved a lot this year.
So it was either them or we're in trouble at that spot. Is that
I
what they were
think so.
thinking?
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, you got to be running on all cylinders here to keep it going. All right. So you had an expectation going into sectionals. Now, before that, there was Tri-Eastern Conference tournament. You have. Is there a way? There's a Wayne County. Is there a Wayne County? No,
not
Wayne
anymore.
County.
Not anymore.
You did good. You didn't win the conference.
Right.
There's some traditional teams like Centerville's name is always mentioned,
Yeah.
as far as I know. Lincoln's usually pretty good. We're there some seasons. Okay. So I don't know how you finished. How'd you finish in the conference?
So during the regular season, we finished like 2nd, but because it's factored into the TC, like individual standings, we finished 4th.
Okay.
So
All right. So with that in your background, as you head into sectionals, okay. First, you're going to play Richmond, the big school. They've won that a few times over the past
35,
few.
I believe.
Yeah. So they've had a success factor
Yeah,
themselves.
for sure.
What was the confidence level? Let me ask you, because you're a player. What was your confidence level as you're going to play Richmond?
Well,
You want to beat them, man. They're the whole school. You want them to serve you for the rest of the tournament, right? So what was your confidence level as a team, Canyon, as you went into that first match?
Well, we were pretty confident once we got there and we were getting into warm-ups and everything. But before then, before we'd seen the guys play, we were kind of worried a little bit.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I've seen the Richmond guys play before. They're a really good team.
Yeah.
They got a lot of talent, but, man, I don't know, man. We just did good.
All
we
right.
just got out there and won.
So you had it was a good day, right?
Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
All right, so the next one, Hagerstown, relatively 5-0. So I'm not going to say you breezed through, but it's nice to go 5-0, does it?
Yeah, but I will say Chris Robertson had him swinging hard.
Okay.
So.
All right, so now Lincoln.
Yep.
They beat Centerville. Centerville's a kind of a traditional. I know in girls tennis they're always a power. Boys tennis they're typically there too. So they're fresh off a victory over Centerville. Now you're playing Lincoln. I believe you beat them in the previous regular season match that you guys had. Everything got turned around because of rain, right? So now you're playing on Saturday morning as opposed to Friday afternoon. Does that change things? Now you're playing in the morning as opposed to 4:30 in the afternoon.
Man, we play better in the morning.
All right, a little fresher. You didn't have to go to school all day.
A lot of us do, yeah.
Yeah. That's probably something
Yeah,
to that.
and I think there's a psychology. Honestly, I think that playing on Saturday because you wait all day, you got all day at school, like getting hyped, and sometimes you emotionally get drained before the match even starts. So, like I said, it's another game of psychology. So I think
and it was a 10 o'clock match, right? So you show up in the morning, you get your warm ups in, and you're playing. There's no school to do. There's no other thing. The only thing you have to do is get to bed early on a Friday night, which is a teenager. I'm not sure if that's possible.
Right.
But you know what? They got stamina and energy. They're going to make it to the next day. All right, so now you're in the sectionals. Tell us about the emotions, Matt, as the coach. You're going through the sectional. There were probably some tight matches going on here, or games or whatever, so sets or whatever. So tell us about that.
So I will say that we got the matchup we wanted for sure against Lincoln because we knew we beat them before.
Okay.
And the same formula. We beat them the same way at number 1, number 2 doubles, and then Connor came through and beat the number 1 singles again. But like I said, we were playing hard, and this guy, I mean, playing against a guy who's only lost twice all year, is undefeated in the conference, comes out and is really challenging. They're number 3. I think, whether you see it or not, you set the tone.
Yeah.
You play hard and you set the tone. It's like, I'm not backing down.
All the matches are going on at the same time. Do you put an eye toward the guy, over here, or try to keep? I mean, that's your job, obviously. You got to know. But as a player, Kenyon, are you aware of what's going on elsewhere?
Yeah, I keep a pretty good eye on everybody else, honestly.
Yeah.
I like to know what it's going to look like.
Okay. I mean,
We're
that's
gonna win or
probably
not.
common, human nature. You want to know that.
And, like you cheer if you see him hit a good shot and stuff from your court to them.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, that's interesting. All right. So you guys are moving on. All right. Tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow night.
And what time and where we headed?
So this is the first time I believe they haven't had the regional at Richmond. They moved it to Mount Vernon, Fortville.
Okay.
We play Fishers at 5 p.m.
All right. Fisher's small school, right?
Oh yeah,
They're 1A, isn't it?
Yeah. They were.
With five more behind it.
I think about 10% of their freshman class is 1A. Everybody else is. No, they're a fourth. I don't know what they are.
And tennis is one class.
Yeah,
One class.
there's no class sections.
There's no
in
breakdowns
tennis.
on it,
You
right?
play the big boys,
Yeah.
and that's the way it's going to go. So, you get a chance to scout them, or do you get a scouting report? What do you do to prepare? You probably don't know much about them.
I know that they're ranked 14th in the state.
Okay.
And if we happen to beat them, we're going to play probably Greenfield Central because they play Newcastle. And Newcastle last year went to semi-state. And Greenfield Central's ranked 28th. They beat the 23rd ranked team, Mount Vernon, in their sectional.
Okay.
So we've got an uphill battle.
But it's exciting.
We're playing good tennis players, and I expect them to come out and hit with them, as a coach.
As you move on, it gets tougher.
Yeah.
I mean, that's in any sport. That's the way it happens, that type of thing. Well, guys, We could go on for another
We
hour.
could go
I'll tell
on
you
for a
that.
while.
I'll tell you
Excellent.
what, I got tons of questions here. I'm guessing Evan Weaver is going to want to talk with you guys if he gets a chance. He's looking for stories, so whatever we can do to help him. Anything else, Jerry? Boy, like I say, we could go for another. I want to wish you guys the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, hoping things work well for you. You just lay it all out there. Whatever happens, happens.
right.
And you do that. You play relaxed, play easy,
Right.
and good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
To both you guys.
Well, we had a chance to roast Kiesling a little bit.
That was the funnest
that was good.
I didn't realize that story.
That's why I was telling you earlier.
That's an incredible story.
Wait till you hear this story.
And these guys-
it is an incredible story. It's like Hoosiers with tennis balls.
Yeah, and it's like all of a sudden now they're winning the sectional.
Yeah.
They start out with Jerry who doesn't know anything about tennis, and he was able to convince.
It's
a great story. Maybe someday.
It is. That's a great story right there that the Pal Item could write about.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Oh,
Like a
man.
movie. But
Yeah.
It's a movie. I can. There we go, to Old Guys Productions. Hey, thanks for coming in, guys. We appreciate it. Coming in and good luck over at Mount Vernon. That place is huge, also, and it'd be a great experience to play in that regional and have fun with it.
Good luck, you guys. We'll be watching. Okay, so. Jerry, take us into the next break. Yeah.
Well, we'll be back in just a few minutes, and we'll talk a little football, a little volleyball on the Knights Broadcasting Network.
This is Rick Fletcher. When my car needs repair, I take it to 715 Simharjan Parkway in Richmond, home of Knuckle Busters. With their ASE certified technicians, why would you go anyplace else? They repair domestic and imports, air conditioners to Z-bars. Knuckle Busters Auto Repair. Call 765-488-1470 and tell them to go Knights!
Are you being bugged about your floral needs? The Leaning Lily, 927 South 9th, is a full-service florist with lots of great gift ideas like wind chimes, potted plants, hanging baskets, teddy bears, and much, much more. Convenient delivery available to residential, the hospital, and local funeral homes. The Leaning Lily has bouquets to say, I love you, to weddings to say, I do. The Leaning Lily, we have you covered.
Hey there, my name is Gibson, and I would love to invite you to LifeSpring Students. That's our youth group at LifeSpring Church, which is just south of Northeastern on 27, and we meet from 7 to 8:30 on most Thursdays, but the doors open at 6:30. It's a great way to get to know more about God, meet some friends, as well as get to know about yourself some more as well. Plus, it's a lot of fun. We usually have some basketball and dodgeball, along with some other activities. And if you want to know more, check out lifespring.tv/students.
Martin's Country Mart, US 27 Fountain City. Swing in and grab a coffee or a frazzle. Maybe a fountain drink at Martin's Country Mart. We also have all your favorite snacks, bottled drinks, and of course, sweet bakery items. Plenty of accessories for dinner. And don't forget the grill menu, covering breakfast, lunch, dinner, and of course, the kids' favorite, pizza. Martin's Country Mart, Fountain City. Welcome back to Knightline Live. And Rick, we're going to talk a little football.
Well, before we do that, I got to tell you, I appreciate having Matt and Kenyon on.
They're fun.
That coaching story, I tell you, I didn't know anything about that. Of course, you were here, so you knew all that. What a story that is. Well, congratulations to those guys. Good luck. Get an opportunity, 5 o'clock at
Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon, not that far away.
It's about 45 minutes.
Yeah, so if you can get down there, go down there, and good luck to all those guys. Really, great accomplishment.
Yeah,
to them.
absolutely.
All right, so let's talk about football. The Knights had a home game against Shenandoah.
Those dreaded Raiders.
Those dreaded Raiders. We've seen some lopsided scores on the other side. In years past, Jerry. Last year, the Knights got off the snide and beat them down there at Shenandoah. So, hey, the one thing we're going to say about that game is, and we'll talk to Coach Wes Oler, and he's going to probably concur, is they won the game. All right, and they didn't play their best. And I was wondering, you lost a big game against Centerville. Was there a hangover? Which would be natural.
Oh yeah, it would be natural. And when you get those turnovers, I mean, very first play of the game.
Oh yeah,
you get one, and then you get down to the goal line, you get another one, and just some turnovers like that, you have to sit back and think, man, are we meant to be? And then it was like the skies opened.
Yeah, exactly.
And they had that 3-minute opportunity to win a ball game, and in a minute and 40 seconds, opportunity scores.
Well,
and they win the game.
And, if I'm to be honest, talent-wise, I think the Knights were far superior team.
Yeah.
Okay, but sometimes these things happen. Good for them. They won the ball game. But also, maybe that will help them refocus because sectionals are right around the corner. That draws next Sunday, so we'll see who they play in the sectionals. And they got a couple more conference games left on their schedule, so you want to be hitting sectionals on a high note here.
Absolutely.
So they'll have a couple games to get that squared away, and hopefully they will. And so we'll see what happens there. So we talked, as is our custom, we talked to Coach Oler after the game, and we also had a player of the game, and this is a substitute, Cale Hansen. He's only a sophomore. He made a couple of huge defensive plays at the end of the game.
Yes.
And so he was our player of the game. So we're going to go to those videos right now, and then we'll go to commercials again. And then we'll come back and we'll wrap up with some volleyball and whatever else is on our mind. All right, so this is Knightline, and you're live. All right, welcome back to Northeastern. The Knights defeat the Raiders of Shenandoah 19-16 in a squeaker with a last-minute touchdown and a defensive stand. This is the First Financial Bank Coach's Comment. First Financial Bank in Richmond. Go see Beth Beatty for a new mortgage or to rewrite an existing mortgage. I'm here with Coach Wes Oler. Wes, first, good to win. Yep. But the question I'm going to ask is, was there a hangover with that Centerville loss last week?
I think absolutely. We knew this week coming in that we were going to have to fight against that, right? That's your number one goal is to win all the regular season games, win the conference, and it was deflating. It was deflating for everybody.
Right.
And we told them that now we have to turn our focus to the winning these last 3 games and kind of getting a little bit more momentum going into the sectional because tonight's team was a sectional opponent.
Absolutely.
Winchester, Union County, these teams we've seen before. So we have to be playing good football going into there. But we had a couple bad practices this week, and I thought it wasn't a great start. We turned the ball over too much, but I think it took us a while to get going. But we tried to tell the kids all week, that's the best 1-5 team in the state, 1-6 now.
Yeah.
That's a good football team. They've seen good offenses every week. Heritage Christian and Park Tudor's got a D1 quarterback. They've seen everything we were going to throw at them. We knew we just had to execute, and we thought if we could score 3 touchdowns, we'd be in good shape, and that's kind of how it ended up. Not exactly how I thought it would go, but I'm really proud of our kids getting down 13-0. Our defense, the second half, they were getting yards, but the motto is bend but don't break. That's the backbone of our defense, and a goal line stand there where they have to settle for a field goal. We always view that as a stop, even though they're getting points. And then when we have to punt, we get another 3 and out when we needed it. And we use a couple timeouts to get the ball back again. And our defense, put us in a position to win that game tonight.
All right, so a couple of questions. Last week against Centerville, your run defense was tremendous. This week it was a different story. What was the difference between Centerville and these guys here?
We're familiar with Coach Roeder's offense.
Oh yeah, we've all seen
everybody
it.
in the stands is familiar, and it's run first, but it's good stuff. Wing T is good. He does a nice job calling it, and they found a couple creases in our front there where it took us a while to adjust and to start plugging some of those holes. But again, it kind of took us that whole drive to figure it out. But that was the stop of the game was that goal line stand. And I think we had a couple of them, didn't we? I think we stopped on fourth down, and then we held them to the field goal. So the defense only allowing 3 points in the second half, and then our offense kind of turned things around. We're going to have to work on ball security a little bit. We got we run the trick play there on fourth down and get the first down, and then they did a great job of attacking the football late in plays down the field. They were coming in and punching at the ball, and they knocked it out several times. So we know we have to get better at that. But Connor was upset after that with himself, but his teammates picked him up, and then he made a big tackle on third down to force the punt as well. So that's what I'm most proud of this group is they didn't turn on each other. They didn't get frustrated. They just kept playing.
All right, you expecting a little better focus in practice this week. I've heard you're the second guy who said practices weren't very good this week.
Yep.
But we expecting better focus now.
Yes, I think this group is kind of maybe over that hangover and over the hump. This is the first time a home Northeastern crowd has seen us beat Shenandoah. That's pretty awesome. And I hope the kids realize how important that is. But now we got 2 more conference games and a lot on the line. We want to finish 8-1, but we've got to take it 1 week at a time. But we're gonna head west, and they're running the same offense that we saw tonight. It's wing T. They're fullbacks leading the conference in rushing. He was going into tonight, and they're a much improved team. Coach Taylor has, I think, done a nice job of starting that turnaround and that rebuild. And they're well coached, so we know we have to go in ready to play and take care of the football.
No rest for the weary,
Nope.
Wes. All right, well, thank you very much. We'll talk to you next week. All right, that's Coach Wes Oler. Knights win. Congratulations to the Knights. They are 6-1. This has been the First Financial Bank Coach's Comment. All right, we're back here at Northeastern High School. The Knights beat the Raiders 19-16 in a squeaker in a real tight ball game. This is Subway Player of the Game. Subway Sandwich Shop. You got 3 locations in Richmond and 1 in Hagerstown. There's a Subway Sandwich Shop near you. Subway, eat fresh. And I am here with our Subway Player of the Game, Cale Hansen. Cale, how are you?
I'm doing great.
All right, so I got to tell you, man, it was tough on defense tonight, at least where we were. They were running the ball quite well, but that last series, when we needed, defense stepped up. So talk about that.
I just know that we needed a boost on defense, and when Coach called my name, I knew I had to prove myself and get a stop for us.
Yeah, you had a couple of, you forced a sack on one, then you had a big, in the next play, you had a big tackle there. You're only a sophomore. You play a little bit on defense, I noticed. So what kind of adjustment it is as a sophomore? You have to go into a big ball game here. You guys, everything's on the line right there. What's your mentality?
It's just I have to prove myself to the coaches. I know that it's big players, a lot different than JV, and I know that I have to compete with them. It's a different ball game.
All right, well, congratulations. You are our Subway Player of the Game. That is sophomore Cale Hansen. Came up with a couple of huge plays on defense to end the ball game. Knights win 19-16. This has been the Subway Player of the Game.
And we're back for Knightline Live, and a couple good interviews there. Coach Oler he tells it like it is. He doesn't sugarcoat things, and I appreciate that.
Well, what I appreciate about Wes is win or lose, he's going to talk with us.
Yeah, he shows up.
And he's going to tell us exactly what he thinks. And, he holds himself accountable, and he holds his players accountable. And that's what you want in a coach, Jerry.
Absolutely.
You really want that. So let's touch on volleyball. We had a lot of volleyball last week.
Oh, my goodness. We were working 9 to 5, as Dolly would say, on volleyball.
Well, hey, the Knights had a couple of conference wins, a big one against Hagerstown.
It was a huge win against Hagerstown.
So they're undefeated, 6-0 in the conference. They've got 2 conference matches this coming week. And you know what? They finish it out. They could be undefeated and have that conference championship.
Yeah.
So good luck to the ladies. Tomorrow night they'll be at Tri, and then Thursday night they'll be at Lincoln, both away. Now Lincoln's improved.
Yes, they have.
Wayne County tournament. And then Saturday they'll be at a nice tournament at Union County.
Yeah.
And next week, Thursday, I believe, is when sectionals are. We'll have more about that next week because Matt Fisher, the coach, will be one of our guests. We'll be talking about sectionals next week.
That's always a good talk when Matt comes in.
Yeah. Also, we were at the Wayne County tournament. We were there. We were broadcasted the whole thing, and really some fun volleyball. I want to tell you. Unfortunately for our Knights, they lost to a very improved Centerville team, and I gotta you gotta give credit where it's due.
Absolutely.
Centerville, they ended up winning the tournament. It was Centerville and Lincoln in the final. Now, they would suspend your FanDuel account if you put money on that.
Oh, yeah.
There. But congratulations to both those teams for getting there, and congratulations to Centerville for winning that. They played well. They played out of their mind. Okay, so I tend to think you got to give credit where credit is due.
Well,
So
they got the trophy.
they got
the bucket.
Or the bucket.
Yeah.
So that bucket, and Dan Harney was telling me that's the first time that bucket has ever left Hagerstown High School. And Hagerstown, since they've had the bucket, they've always won the tournament. So now someone else it goes up to Centerville High School. Maybe next year finds its way over here.
Oh, Rick, you can't kick the bucket
Yeah,
and expect to win.
Other than that, so next week, our guests are going to be Eric Nolan and Tyler Hostetler, the cross-country coaches, because they're sectionals. They'll have Tri-Eastern Conference Championships this weekend.
Yep.
Next weekend will be their sectionals. And Matt Fisher, and we'll be talking sectionals with him. So perfect timing for those two guys right
Perfect
there.
timing. And then we'll have a wrap-up of that Knightstown Northeastern football game, which is at Knightstown.
It's at Knightstown.
And we are not broadcasting that, but we will be broadcasting the volleyball sectional.
Yeah, we'll have every game of that sectional. That's at Hagerstown this year. So get on down there and support your girls. Again, we'll say a lot more about that next week, Jerry. So
Well, I think that's pretty much a wrap.
that's a wrap. We're a little overtime, but you know what? I don't care because we get to talk to the tennis guys.
It's always overtime is always good as long as you win.
That's exactly right.
And we're winners.
We won. All right. Congratulations to the tennis guys. We really, good luck tomorrow.
Well, I think it's about time for Night Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
And for Rick Fletcher, I'm Jerry Middleton, and it's been another good night.